Hi, this is Jerome Alexandre, Black Bordello, Sex Gang Children, Tug of War, and Triggers. You're watching The Rooster Show.
Hello, and thank you for choosing the Rooster Show. This is Rooster Jones. So nice to have you today. Today we have Witching Hour from the UK. And we're going to have both of them here. We're going to have Trevor Barnes. And we also have his lovely companion with him. And her name is Alys Sterling. So here they are. Good to have them. This band was requested by several people, so this is nice to have them. Hello, my friends.
Hi, Richard.
Hello. It's actually working.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you forget to click a button.
No worries, my friend. We've all been there.
It's been one of those. It's COVID attacked my family, so we've been kind of down and out for a little while. So
yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, the whole COVID thing is still around, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It sucks. So Witching Hour, man, welcome to the Rooster Show. It's so awesome to have you. I love you. Listen to the Ravens right now. It's a brilliant album. Actually, I love all your albums.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I grew up with nothing, but my first love was goth rock. Just to let you know, a little history about myself, real quick. Grew up in Southern California, loving the LA scene and Hollywood clubs. Stigmata, Perversion, Helter Skelter, all these big ones that were out there. Club Fuck. Yeah, you can cuss on this show. So yes, it was. I have a love for it, and then I fell into punk rock and. It's just those two collide together so well. They're just like two peas in a pod. So
you have a pretty good idea what we're about, then I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely. So awesome. Tell me about your band. How was it? When did?
We've been around a while. I mean, we formed originally in 1991,
Yeah, yeah.
as a three-piece. So originally, it was myself, Alice, and we had a keyboard player originally. We've always used a drum machine. We've never had a live drummer. So yeah, we had a keyboard originally back in the 90s. We actually went through three keyboard players in the 90s,
Ooh,
and for various different reasons. And in the end, we decided. I think this must have been towards the end of the 90s, I guess, was it, that we decided to stay as a two-piece. And we figured it really just wasn't working out having a keyboard player. So um, yeah, we've kind of just been a two-piece pretty much ever since, really, and it's worked out quite well. You know,
so
um,
Alice does the keyboard.
Alice is on bass, and
Alice
I
is
play
all bass.
the thing. Yeah, and we
Okay.
use well, we used to use a sequencer in the drum machine. I mean, these days it's a digital multi-track that has the drums and the keyboards on. But yeah, these days, yeah, we're just a two-piece with the drum machine and keyboard bass.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds excellent. Sounds
thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, I think
So tell what was that, Alice?
I think it improved our sound because now we can use more layered keyboards that you couldn't
Yeah.
play live with just one person. So
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, you don't have any distractions from outside, from other people. Too many people could clutter a
True,
sound.
yeah. I mean, um, I think as a two-piece, we've just found it just works just so much better. I mean, for loads of different reasons. I mean, for starters, we're married, so we
I
we
was
were
going to ask that eventually.
we were finding that when we had a third person in the band, when it came down to a bad band argument, the brutal truth is they were always going to lose. So you know,
That is the
so
truth.
yeah, they were always going to lose that argument. So
Yeah,
we just have found ever since that it just works easier with just two of us.
that's true. That's awesome. So, witching hour, man. Was it always called witching hour? Did you have any
Yes,
other projects
it's always
before
been
witching
witching hour. I
hour?
mean, the history of us was I'd started to try to get a goth band together before Witching Hour, um, and that went nowhere. That was kind of disastrous. And yeah, when I met Alice, um, Alice wanted to play the bass, so we just figured it was why not just try and do a band with us two,
Yeah,
and then we got a keyboard player, and it just went from there, really, and it just worked out. In terms of the name, the honest answer about why we chose Witching Hour is I think we had a list of names. Most
it was the best one.
Yeah, and it was the best choice. Most of the names on that list sucked,
yeah,
and Witching Hour was just the one that just seemed to fit in terms of what we
yeah.
wanted to do and the look
Beautiful.
of the band, and yeah, so yeah,
I love your hair, by the way. It's
thank you,
awesome. Yeah,
thank you.
I always love this. I always love the style, man. It's just, it's part of my heart, man. It's part of my soul. So this is awesome. You were actually requested to be on my show by some other people. So, and believe it
That's
or not, one of them was a skinhead.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, a really wonderful guy, a good guy. I mean,
We
not
do
the
have quite
non-racial.
a
It's the non-racial type, of course, but
we do have quite
yeah,
a mix of fans actually, which is great. Um,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, okay, a lot of our fans are hardcore goths. Yeah, I won't deny that, but we seem to appeal to a diverse group of people, which is great.
That is awesome. It's a I hate saying it about goth, but if real good goth has always been just really basic, really to the point. It has its own
Yeah,
structure that it's been consistent through these years, and you maintain that in a very wonderful way, and it never gets old. And
thank
that's
you.
the thing that's about good goth rock. It never gets old.
One of the things
So
that slightly amuses us now is when we first started back in the 90s, we were just a goth band. And nowadays you've got all these different subdivisions of goth, and we're now known as trad goth, which does amuse me slightly, because I still consider us as just a goth band,
yeah,
but
of course.
um, so don't get me wrong, I love the whole trad goth thing. I mean, we are proud to be known as a trad goth band, but I do find it amusing that you've got all these different variants of goth now.
It's like genders.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost the same thing. I mean, you have like, yeah, okay, that's all we'll go with that route. So I want to go to you, Alice, real quick. Tell me how long you've been playing bass. What got you into that?
I actually started learning bass because Trev was having trouble putting a band together. But before that, I played the violin. So it was actually really easy to learn to play bass. And my
Oh, that's
first
awesome.
was the fretless. So it's just like a very much larger version of the same type of instrument.
Oh yeah, it is. Violin's beautiful. So wow, that's great. Do you play any violin in your music?
No, I don't.
Incorporate any of it?
We've talked about that.
We've talked about it, but yeah, we've
That
never
would
done
be
it.
actually really neat. Even if it's subtle, use it for the ambience. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be.
absolutely. 'Cause
Sometimes people overthink things and make it stand out, and then it becomes
I love the
too.
sound of a violin myself. So yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it would be awesome if we could do that at some point in the future.
Like my wife loves the sound of flute, So
Right.
I mean, I love to write goth as well, to be honest with you, and working on a project that I should hopefully have out an EP out this year called Rising Underground. So but she likes
I should
flute a
keep an eye
lot,
out
so
for
I'm
it.
gonna try incorporating a little bit of flute in there and stuff like that. And anyway, so do you feel that the band's dynamics have changed throughout the years?
To a certain extent, yeah. I mean, I would say how our sound has matured, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, if you compare Raven to our first album, Exhumation,
Yeah.
I think our sound has maybe matured. But at its core, we're still very much that sort of trad sort of goth sound. We're still using similar ideas, in terms of chord progressions, sounds, driving bass lines, drum
You're very
machine.
consistent, to
Yeah,
be honest
yeah,
with you, which
yeah.
is good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you find your sound, that you love, you don't want to flee from it. You want to just enhance it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, how did you both meet each other?
Oh God, it was actually a goth nightclub on Oxford Street. Yeah,
Yeah, Trev asked if he could buy me a drink, and the rest is history.
yeah.
That's good.
It wasn't a particularly good goth club, unfortunately, but yeah.
But a good memory from the goth club.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. If I seem to remember, their playlist was pretty much terrible, but I think they had one Sisters of Mercy song that they used to play constantly, and that was it. And it wasn't even like any of the decent Sisters of Mercy tracks, So
It's like one of those songs, like if you like The Cure, but they play Love Cats.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because I love The Cure, but
Oh yeah,
So do we.
I really don't love
mean,
Cats
they
that much.
they are one of my favorite all-time bands.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Okay, while we're on that, what did you think about the new album?
Here's an interesting thing. When I first heard some of the tracks off of it, I was not sure, if I'm being completely honest.
Me too.
It's taken me a while to warm up to it. And I was listening to it throughout November on YouTube Music, and it just slowly grew on me. And I put it on my Christmas list, and I got it for Christmas on CD. So, and now I love it. I think it is actually a good album. It's no Disintegration, but I think everyone agrees that that they will probably never produce anything as good as Disintegration, probably.
Probably never.
But it is a good album. I mean, we've waited 16 years for it, but
yes,
I think it is a good album.
I was hoping there would be a little more energy behind it for 16 years.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. I think that's one of the reasons why it took me a while to get into it. I mean, if you compare that to Disintegration and Bloodflowers, the first time I heard those albums, I was blown away and loved them.
So, yeah. Maybe someday it was beautiful. Oh, I love that song.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think this one was a bit of a slow burner for me.
Yeah,
but
it's still growing on me a little bit. I'm trying. I just, as a fan, though, I was a little disappointed at first, but I still love you, Robert.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I just wish they had a kid. I could just see him and Maria having such a beautiful little baby Robert.
Can you imagine how cute that would be?
Oh my goodness, because they both kind of have that. They have that similar, beauty together. You know what I mean? That a similarness. I
Yeah.
mean, when you look at her, you can definitely tell that she's a Smith.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
she's
They're a
beautiful.
beautiful couple. Yeah,
Yeah, they
it's
are great. I love them. Okay, so tell me about your early years. Was it kind of a struggle to get the band going, or was it easy flowing?
um yeah, I mean
You have
in those
challenges?
early days in the 90s, it was a little bit of a struggle because goth was going through kind of a weird phase back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Um yeah, because it was kind of going through a bit of a revival. I'm sure you remember a certain band called Rosetta Stone.
Oh, of
Um
course. I love what it says. Their
yeah.
new album is brilliant.
So we started kind of like after Rosetta Stone's kind of like hit the big time.
Okay.
And one thing I distinctly remember some people saying was that, oh, you guys are copying Rosetta Stone and all this sort of stuff. And of course we weren't. We happened to have exactly the same influences as Rosetta Stone. That was the
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I think it was a challenge in the early 90s to actually get gigs even, and just get recognition, because goth was in a weird phase in the 90s. It did improve throughout the 90s, I think.
Yeah, of course.
And and nowadays, it's changed even more. But yeah, I would say it was difficult in the early 90s. I mean, would you agree with that? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say, I mean, we had a keyboard player, our first one, who kind of wanted to more be a band manager than a keyboard player. And so we had a couple of nightclub residencies, which so
yeah,
we got a lot of experience playing
Okay.
live at that point, but we couldn't get a record deal,
no.
and we in fact ended up just self-producing because that was the best we could do.
Funny enough, we did actually send a demo to Cleopatra Records when we first started, and their response back was, what was it? If you guys had come to us like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
just thought goth was not going anywhere, so they weren't sending
yeah.
goth anymore.
So
Damn. It's
yeah,
just that's sad. Yeah, it's the same way with what's that? Oh god, goodness gracious. Sisters of Mercy had that other doppelganger band. Oh well,
oh, well, there was Sisterhood, wasn't there?
no, not Sisterhood. Um, ah, I don't want to look up my phone. I need to get it in my head. They sang oh goodness. The dang it, man.
You're not
Oh
thinking of
my
the Mission.
lord. It's not even Sisters of Mercy, but they sound almost exactly like them.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, unfortunately, that covers a lot of ground. Unfortunately,
I know. Oh,
but
I have to look it up, dude. Sorry.
we've played with many bands that I'm not going to name any names, but they so badly wanted to be Sisters of Mercy, particularly the lead singer. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to name any names.
It's killing me. Oh, Buried Thoughts.
Oh yes, yes, I remember them. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
they're awesome. I love them. But
yeah.
it's just like they have to be. I even did my little investigation to see if it was the same members changing their names or whatever. But oh well. So, what's one of the biggest lessons besides? Well, I guess you already answered that one because you said not having a keyboardist. So
Yeah.
I'll go past that one. But so what's some of your biggest musical influences?
Oh, quite varied actually. I mean, I would say for me personally, in terms of writing, my main musical influences are The Cure, of course, a bit of Sisters of Mercy, but not a huge amount. Quite a bit of The Mission, quite a bit
I
of
can
Susan
see
and Bay.
that the
Yeah,
mission
I think you can hear some of The Mission in our music, definitely.
definitely.
Quite a bit of Susie and the Banshees, maybe a bit of Bauhaus. Um, but I also like a lot of 80s pop music as well. I mean, I'm not gonna name bands, but I do like a lot of music from the 80s in general.
Michael Jackson.
I'm not
I'm just joking. I'm messing with you. I'm messing.
but
That's
there's a fair amount of just general pop music from the 80s, synth-based stuff that I still quite like. I mean, but I
besides
do
the witching hour. Besides the witching hour, have you ever tried any other genre? Tried
um
jamming out with any other genre?
not really, to be honest. No, I mean,
This was your main focus.
Yeah, I mean, I think we will always be a goth band. You know, I don't
That's
think
good.
we will
Yeah, don't
experiment.
change.
Yeah.
Don't change.
But yeah, I mean, Alice, you have slightly more different influences and tastes, don't you, than me, I guess.
Yeah, although I have to say for Witching Hour, it's definitely the Cure's bass lines that are the biggest influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. I can see that. I can definitely see the Mission. I love Mission UK. I saw them
They're
at
an
the
awesome
House of
band.
Blues in Vegas. It was a great show. Yeah, saw Sisters of Mercy at the same place. Actually, they did
Yeah,
10 gigs in America, and I was able to. Me and my
with the
wife
Sisters,
went.
I do like their really early stuff, but the later stuff, not so much. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you there. I'm more, yeah. Early first couple albums was like
Yeah.
the best. Vision Thing was a great album, actually. I
It,
love Vision Thing
it was okay, but I can't help
because it had a really
they
good
were going
energy
in
to it. I thought,
we were going in a weird direction, I think, with that. So
yeah, they definitely changed. Their dynamics definitely changed.
yeah.
So, you know, I mean, they go through like guitarists and musicians like it's like
Oh God,
hotcakes.
yeah.
So I mean, every time I see them, they're doing with different people. Yeah, so I was like, what the hell? So, what was one of your favorite albums composing that you done?
You mean Witching Hour stuff?
Yeah,
Oh,
like which one? I mean, because sometimes
I was
some
was
people put
really
their eggs
pleased.
all in one basket. You know what I mean? Put all their
Yeah,
favorite
I was
songs and
really
this and
pleased
that.
with I was really pleased with Raven. I mean, Raven was kind of weird because I started writing Raven quite a long time before we actually recorded it. So the songs
Okay.
for Raven were sticking around for quite a few years before we actually recorded it and put it together in an album. But yeah, I am quite proud of Raven. But you know, I'm proud of all of our stuff. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know,
You should love your own music.
She's Alive EP, for instance.
Oh,
I love
I
that.
listened to that too earlier.
She's Alive is still one of our most popular songs, and you know, I still
That's
quite like
awesome.
that. You know, I love playing
That's
it.
great. Great EP.
Yeah.
I was listening to that when I was like, what? We have an hour and a half left? That's what it was on. I've been jamming out to you all day. So, what song do you think best captures Witching Hour?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You can say 2 tracks
What would you
or
say?
one from each album. How about that?
Yeah, I'd say that the two I think that are most like you would think of us are She's Alive and Blood Inside.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for Jack as well because when I wrote Jack, I wanted
What's that song about?
It's about Jack the Ripper
Okay.
from his point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, when I wrote Jack, I wanted to write something about Jack the Ripper, and I thought, well, it'd be really interesting if I wrote it from his point of view, and you know, and as a song, you know, it's got that really drive-in bass line.
Yeah.
And you love to play it like that, yeah, and it's. I do think it's one of our best songs. So yeah, I mean, I would certainly say that Jack is right up there as well. You know,
Did you do a little research before writing that track?
Not exactly, but I've been interested in all of the stuff to do with Jack the Ripper for quite some time. So, you know, and it's still a fascinating piece of British history. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was about ready to ask if it's
and I
still
don't think
pretty
they will
profound
ever
out there.
really. I don't think they will ever really find out. You know, the truth about him. Not completely.
Yeah.
And there's so many different theories. It's ridiculous. You know.
Easy. How do you keep your guys' sound fresh? Still today, how do you keep it fresh?
Well, here's the thing that is possibly a little bit of a plug, even though we don't have anything to plug yet. Over the past couple of years, I did buy a couple of new guitars.
Oh,
so for ages I'd been wanting to get a 12-string electric.
I love them.
So you know, I've now got a 12-string electric, which is expanding my musical sound palette by a huge amount. And I also, for ages, I wanted to get a Jazzmaster style guitar. So I've got a Jazzmaster style guitar now as well. And as well as my beloved Ensoniq ESQ1, which, you know, is the synth that's on all our recordings. Yeah, that's the synth that generated the um, the choral sound on "She's Alive."
Yeah.
You know, that's the synth that generated that. Yeah, that's my baby. That synth. So as well as that, it's that synth's now got a little brother in the form of a Roland JDXI, which I absolutely love.
Huh.
So this is significantly expanding our musical palette, as it were. So I think the new stuff when it comes, and I'm working on some new ideas. It's still going to sound like Witcher now, hopefully, but it will sound maybe richer, maybe more complex, that kind of thing. So
Like it.
yeah, we do like to experiment, but not move too much away from our core sound. So
Of course.
and the things you can do with the 12 string with effects and stuff, it's incredible.
12 strings is so beautiful. I used to have
Yeah.
a 12 string acoustic
Nice.
that I loved a lot. So I know what you mean. And one of the strings broke on it, so I called it my 11th string guitar.
Oh, that high G
Like,
string.
what?
Oh God, whenever I tune that high G string, it's like you're waiting for a Jack in the Box to come out, and because you tune it, it's like, oh God, is it going to break? Is it going to break? It's like,
Yeah. Is that weird? It's
and when
so
it does
funny.
break, it's really violent. So,
Yeah, it was. I asked someone one time. They were like, "Hey, do you mind if I tune your guitar?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And all of a sudden, I walk away. Bing! Oh, you serious? And it broke my string, and so ever since then, I had 11 strings on it, so I left it.
the other thing worth mentioning is Alice really wants to get another fretless. So
Yeah, so I started off with a fretless and then it got stolen. So I switched to a fretted because I wanted a 5 string, and 5 string fretless are quite difficult to come by. So I'm now looking for a 5 string fretless. Hopefully,
Do you play right now?
I want.
What brand?
I'm playing an Aria Pro 2 5 string right now.
kind of your baby, isn't it? Place.
That's awesome. I have it in Ibanez, just regular 4 string, but I like it.
Yeah,
Ibanez bass
Ibanez
was my
5
first
string that I
instrument.
would really like, but yeah.
Yeah. Ibanez make decent guitars. Yeah.
They are. I mean, they're cheap. I mean, inexpensive, I should say. They're not cheap. They're inexpensive and well
They're
made.
good value for money. Yeah.
Definitely. I've never had any problems with them. I even have an Ibanez guitar and stuff. It's right behind me.
Cool.
Anyway, so what got you into wanting to write music, Trevor?
Oh, if I go way back, without giving away,
1912.
not quite that far back. Even though some people do think I'm a vampire, or that I've got like a picture in the attic or whatever. But
That's all right. I'll let you
I mean,
after the show.
I started playing guitar when I was 12, and right from that moment, once I started to realize how cool the guitar was, I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to like be a rock star, get girls, all that sort of stuff. So
of course,
yeah. I mean, I suppose for me, it just clicked when I discovered how cool electric guitars were, and then I got into the synthesizers. I got the synthesizer bug, and ever since that age, I wanted to do music really, and it kind of grew from there. I did have guitar lessons when I was that age, and the guitar tutor sucked, to put it completely bluntly. And I thought, sod this, and I actually got a book and taught myself. So which these days, I mean, there's wonderful resources for learning an instrument, but back then, all you had for learning an instrument was the local library, or
exactly.
So, but yeah, that's kind of how I got into music, really. I mean, once I discovered how amazing electric guitars were, there was no going back.
Well, one thing, going back to your teacher sucking, it's best to actually find your own way, anyways, because that comes up. You find your own style. Your own unique sound.
So, and you look at all the legendary.
Instead of kind of copy what the teacher did,
exactly.
Copy other people.
When you look at all the legendary guitarists and all the really interesting guitarists, the majority of them are self-taught, which is interesting.
That's awesome. What are your most gratifying experiences about writing music?
Oh,
yeah, we're getting deep.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because I think the best way I can answer that is maybe giving a bit of an insight into how we write stuff. I mean, generally the way I write stuff is I tend to start with the music first. Like I might come up with like a cool guitar riff, or like a cool synth phrase or something like that. Then I put that together, play it to Alys. Alys then comes up with a bass line, and then it just sort of starts to gel together. And that's the point that's really exciting when we get to the point where it sounds like it could be a song, you know. And I start thinking about the lyrics. And if I write the lyrics and they seem to match the music and it just sort of gels together, that is a magical moment. And that's for me, that's
it is.
That's the buzz of making music, really, is when it all
you get that chill, man. That chill
exactly,
in the back.
Yeah. You do. You get your hair standing.
I know what you mean.
And it's wonderful. Yeah, that's why I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I love writing music, and yeah, it gets me emotional because I love it. I know what you mean.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you try to put something together and it's a horrible mess and you bin the idea. But most of the time it just sort of seems to come together somehow and it becomes something, which is great.
Have you ever came to a track where you do multiple versions of that particular track to figure out which one you like better?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, we had a little bit of to and fro in when we did Raven. And I think part of that was because when we got round to actually recording Raven, we had maybe 3 songs that were completely unfinished because we'd had the songs for Raven lying around for like several years. So there was a little bit of to and fro on some of those tracks. But yeah,
and you know, being unfinished means we weren't happy with them yet. So
no, of course,
a bit of work.
Yeah.
And you both collaborate with lyrics?
No. It's all of the lyrics on the grounds that he is the person singing them.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help feeling I'm probably a bit difficult to work with in that respect.
I'm saying nothing.
Are you trying to say you're stubborn?
Oh yeah, I'm very stubborn. I won't deny that at all. Yeah, one of the reasons why we probably could never have another guitarist in the band is because I would probably constantly row with them about what a guitar should do or any of that kind of stuff, you know. So
be honest with you, I can't imagine someone playing my own music. You know what I mean? Because it's from my heart and my soul.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
And so I don't even think I have that great of a voice, but I'm going to work around it. I'm going to get as many effects as I can to make sure
you want to sing what you've written, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I want to sing and play what I've written. You know, and
so that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I understand that someone else might be able to do a little bit better but at the same time, it may not have the exact same emotion, you know, behind it and power and presence. So that's one thing I take it really personal with my own tracks I wrote. I'll share one with you if you don't mind later when we get done.
Absolutely. I'd like to hear
one that's going to be on upcoming EP.
Awesome.
So tell me about one of your most memorable experiences or venues that you played at.
Madrid.
Yeah, when we played in Madrid with a band unfortunately are no longer around. I mean they stopped creating music. It was a band called The Eternal Fall. I don't know if you've heard of them as well.
No, I've never heard of that. No.
Yeah, we did a gig with them in London. Yeah, we did a gig with them in London. And really got along with them really, really well. And Sol, the singer and guitarist, he just said to us, why don't you guys come over to Madrid and do a gig? And he sorted it all out, the flights, everything. We went over. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, all the bands we played with were absolutely fantastic. We were all very Cure influenced, but sort of different bits of the Cure. So it was just a really, really good night. And the sound system was like 3 times too large for the venue. So like absolutely no problem with the sounds.
That's so cool.
All the glassware behind the bar is rattling.
That's so sick.
The other thing that I remember was it was getting late in the evening. I think it was like getting to like 11:30 or something. And in London, if you're at a gig and it's 11:30 and there's no one there, you know no one's coming, right?
Everyone's getting the last trains.
It turns out that in Spain, particularly in Madrid, people go out really late. So we were standing there thinking no one was going to show up, and then I think it was like 1:45 or something.
Yeah, and then
hordes came through the doors and it was packed. and it was a really, really great night. So that was kind of interesting.
Wow, that's
The
awesome.
other thing I would say, the other gig that sticks in my mind is probably the actual last gig that we did. We did a gig back in 2018, and it was a private event. And the amusing thing that I always tell people is it was in Glastonbury. It wasn't at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
So it was actually for was it witchcraft?
Yeah, it was for a witchcraft convention.
It was a witchcraft convention.
Okay.
It was one of the best gigs we've ever done. It was fantastic.
That's
You know,
so
the people
cool.
there were great.
Great audience.
We sounded good. We got what two encores.
Wow.
Fantastic. Yeah, it was really
sweet.
Yeah.
So you have new work. Do you have some more tracks coming up for Witching Hour?
We don't have any new songs yet. I do have a bunch of ideas that I'm working on. I'm hoping to have something out. I won't say this year because I'm terrible when it comes to committing to dates. So all I will say is we will have new stuff out at some point.
Okay.
Because I mean, Ravens. I'm ashamed to say this. Raven's over 10 years old now, so it's about time we release something new, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, you're gonna be the new Cure, man. 16 years.
Oh God, I really hope it doesn't get to 16 years before we release something.
Better
new.
not.
No, we
better not. People are waiting, man. We're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say there's going to be new stuff out this year, but
no, of course not.
But I am definitely working on new stuff. So,
that's awesome. Do you have any tours or concerts coming up?
No, and again, we said last year that it was our desire to do some shows in 2025. So I'm hoping we will be able to sort something out this year. But there's nothing concrete yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we definitely would like to do some shows this year because again, it's been a while since we played live. So yeah.
What would you like to say to your fans right now?
I think just thank you. I mean, we've recently had a whole bunch of renewed interest, which has been awesome. I think we have a core group of fans that are very, very dedicated, very devoted, and they send us wonderful messages in terms of support and that. And I just want to say thank you, and we really appreciate your support. We love you guys, basically. So yeah.
It's awesome. So did you ever, this kind of goes back to live performances, did you ever have any stage fright? Like especially when you first started?
Oh God, yeah. I still get stage fright. I mean, even though we've been doing this for a while, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's to be human, really. I think to get nervous before you go on stage, I mean, would you say you get stage fright?
I wouldn't say I get stage fright so much as well beforehand, sort of anticipating things that might go wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like technical difficulties with your instruments or this and that when you're up there. Yeah.
Things you just can't anticipate, like the bit where your bass amp is plugged into the same fuse as the dishwasher in the pub kitchen, and when they turn that on, you lose all your bass sound on stage.
Yeah,
for unaccountable reason.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Yeah,
we can laugh about it now. It wasn't
that
great.
Was a good one. That's so funny. I had my E string break on my last song on my gig, and so I'm up there, and I have like 8 seconds before the song kicks in, where I'm supposed to be jamming on that guitar, and so I had to rip the guitar string off, get it out of the way, and then get to playing. And honestly, ended up being one of my favorite songs I did live. I'll send you a copy of that too when we get done. I got it on YouTube.
I think all bands have been there. Really, we've all had problems and technical problems and stuff. But yeah, I would say getting nervous before you go on stage is just part of the experience. I think.
Yeah, it is. Did you ever have any kind of little rituals you did before going on stage?
Probably, but I'm not conscious of what they are, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, have you noticed me doing any weird little things before we go on stage? Calm my nerves?
No.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's good. I like that. That was awesome. Yeah. Well, your music is very timeless. Just to let you know, it's It is exactly what the goth scene needs. I appreciate you very much. And I don't want you to ever stop. And you got plenty of fans out there that I know that personally have told me that they love you, and they were stoked about this. So
That's awesome.
I'm just so happy to have you guys. Thank you that it's all worked out. And I really hope for the best for you guys.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It has. It has been. It's been wonderful. So before we leave, do you want to say thanks to anybody that's helped you out through the years to get this music going?
There's a few people. I mean, one person I definitely want to thank is a certain gentleman called Derek Fry.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen some of our music videos. He did one for Blood Inside that was absolutely awesome. And he's been a fan of our music for some time now. So yeah, I would definitely say a big thank you to him, but a big thank you to all our fans, really. I mean, like I said, our fans have been awesome.
That's good.
I'm pleased that our fans have stuck with us over the years. And I often get just the sweetest messages from people, in terms of support, and they're just awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alys and Trevor, for being here, and bless both of you guys, and bless your marriage, and I hope you live long lives as vampires.
You too. Yes. Thank you very much, Rooster. Yeah,
you're very welcome. More rock, less cock here on the Rooster Show. We had the witchy hour. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're always nightmare.
shine.